Yeah. So, what's up, Transit Gaming fans? It's been close to 4 months already since I last uploaded a video to the channel. As some of you may know, I am currently stuck in, Windsor, Ontario. Yeah, so I was in university in the, general, Bachelor of Arts program, for communication, media, and film. So, I was learning how to work at a film production setup. We learned a lot of theory. We learned how to work with equipment, and I even made a bunch of short films myself, some of which are uploaded to the channel. And yeah, that's just about like the only reason why I'm even here in Windsor right now. Well, it's because I started this channel back in 2020, and later I fell in love with editing videos and making content that I thought maybe I can go over to Windsor to perhaps enhance my video editing skills and perhaps learn some new techniques. However, my school marks weren't that good. And here in Windsor, I personally didn't have such a great learning experience. If we're perfectly honest here, I didn't really like how they taught the content, and in my hands-on film production classes in particular, what was pretty unfortunate was that you pretty much had to, I guess, fight with about 30 other people who were in the same class as you, because we were all trying to use and understand the same equipment. Yeah, so it's unfortunate that like in my film courses, I really didn't learn much. But despite that, this semester in particular, I pretty much decided to just step back from making content and focus on school full-time. Like, apologies for this, but it had to be done. But thankfully, the effort actually paid off. Alright guys, just a little bit of an update here. I've now finally moved out of Windsor, and I have now officially graduated from the University of Windsor. And ever since moving out, I've been doing a lot of thinking and a lot of researching, figuring out my options. Currently, here's my perspective on things. I think that graduating from university a year earlier than expected felt like a double-edged sword. Because on one hand, like, yeah, it feels great to be back home with family in the Toronto area and slowly search for jobs in this ridiculous market. However, I think I could have continued university for a fourth year and really took the time to interact with more people. But more importantly, there's still a good list of things in Windsor that I still want to do. I'm a young adult at this point, but I still don't understand myself enough, oddly enough, because ever since I left Windsor, I've struggled to find a suitable career path, even after considering a multitude of different options. I used to want to go into editing. I guess I feel that just sitting in front of a computer all the time, going through videos upon videos, is kind of a laborious type of task. And plus, I don't feel like I'm the most efficient at it. For those of you who are still struggling with finding employment or a future career to aim towards, here's my advice. Build up your resume with relevant experience, whatever you can find, no matter if it's a paid position or not. Finally, having friends and family who can help refer you to jobs can give you a massive advantage. At this point, I have a much clearer idea of what I want to do for the future, and I hope that I can still work on content for you guys, as well as being able to do like side hustles that I absolutely enjoy. Now, in case you guys wanted to know, here's a rundown of my university life. So, I had classes at the main campus and in downtown Windsor, where the university had recently renovated the historic Armories building and built the new Alan Wilderman Center to give the School of Creative Arts lots of great new space. Now, as a music student, I was just blown away with how many practice rooms there are. So yeah, I was quite ecstatic to still be able to play the tuba after high school when I took part in the university's wind ensemble for 2 of my semesters. Now, as part of my music minor, I also took various courses in basic music skills, theory, and history, where I got to understand the development of music from the medieval times to the modern day. And I could notice how music from the different eras had its own unique sounds and composition methods. And so the history courses were quite enriching. I lived in residence on my first year of university and had a meal plan for campus food, although I would need to go out and buy groceries during my next 2 years when I lived off campus. Also, I cooked food at home sometimes. I would occasionally eat out at restaurants in Windsor, but also get fast food sometimes. I depended on Tim Hortons a lot for coffee and breakfast meals occasionally. At the university, there was actually a tent party at the beginning of the year, which is quite fun, and we got to like dance around, socialize with the community. However, I do find that there is quite the lack of university-wide social events, and I really wish that there was more. Whenever I'm not doing schoolwork, I just go out and walk around, take transit to explore the city as much as I can in my free time. And that's something I really wish that more university and college students would do, instead of just limiting yourselves to the campus area. Every reading week and winter and summer breaks, I would travel back to Toronto to visit family, and I would mostly take the Via Rail train for these trips, but would sometimes try coach buses as well because I find that they can be cheaper and much less susceptible to delays. What was funny was that a dinosaur elective course that I was taking this semester, I barely clutched it out on the final exam and actually got out with a 54. So yeah, that goes to show how poor my marks are in school. I mean, luckily there were some classes, especially in communication media theory, that were actually great classes. The professors were amazing, and I got to learn so much. But the main point is, like, these media theory courses were able to help me learn the importance of learning how the world works and providing criticism. These courses have given me such a fantastic learning experience. I got very high grades. Yeah, 3 years of university. I honestly still can't believe that it's finally over, and today, like, as I'm literally recording this video, I'm about to move out of this house in just a few hours. And so I no longer have to live in Windsor anymore. But anyways, back to school. I was almost always by myself. I would often work on assignments by myself in the empty lecture rooms I could find, like in Dillon Hall. I was never really able to fit in with the film students, so I wasn't really familiar with a lot of people in my program. And I guess the few friends that I do know, or I have made, are usually from other programs.
That's a pretty good start. Hockey is truly the best American sport. Spirits, go! Go, Spirits, go!
Or just people that I meet through Pokemon Go. Yeah, speaking of Pokemon Go, honestly, like, if it wasn't for that game, like, my mental health probably would have been a lot worse, in university. Pokemon Go has kept me happy, and I guess occasionally I would, battle in PvP, to try out teams and, push for the legend rank as well. But most importantly, thanks to Pokemon Go, I was able to, really go out and meet the local Windsor community, and it's incredible because even at a city like Windsor, sometimes, especially during the big events in game, at the larger parks in the Windsor area, especially at Jackson Park, you would sometimes see like large crowds, sometimes up to a few hundred people, all gathered there, just all playing Pokemon Go together. But I guess campus, it's a bit of a different story because I have met a few good friends thanks to Pokemon, including my friend Luis. Yeah, huge shout out to you, man. I met Luis pretty early on, and he's genuinely a Pokemon master because he's an expert in the Pokemon TCG. He knows a lot about Pokemon VGC. The both of us have played Pokemon Unite together. He has played Pokken Tournament as well, and I was able to help him get into Pokemon Go, and slowly but surely, he's improving more and more as a battler. Sometimes even out-predicting me. But yeah, we've hung out together for quite some time now, and I probably wouldn't have been able to get a grasp on like the other Pokemon competitive formats if it wasn't for this guy. Like, he introduced me to Pokemon TCG Live. We've played Pokemon Showdown together for fun. On year 3 especially, like most of the time it was just me and him, as well as my other friend named Damyan, who we also met through Pokemon. It was just us three, like, as a pretty solid friend group. Yeah, regardless, like, I'm pretty happy that, like, Pokemon was able to, like, help me cope through the challenges of university life. But, like, outside of Pokemon, though, like, it's been hard for me to find long-lasting friends. It isn't easy to find someone that I can actually relate to, but thankfully, like, all that is behind me now. Another highlight of my experiences here in Windsor would be my experiences on Transit Windsor. As someone who has moved from Hong Kong to the Toronto area and then now to Windsor, it's honestly incredible to see the contrast in terms of the quality of public transit. I have commuted on Transit Windsor for almost 3 years now, and through those times, I've witnessed so many issues on Transit Windsor buses. But it's also mind-boggling to see just how car-centric the city of Windsor really is. Not only do you have buses that are oftentimes unreliable and infrequent, but you have a lot of terribly designed infrastructure and just this die-hard car culture where people want nothing to do with other modes of transportation, and the city continuing to develop outwards into suburban areas. It's especially painful knowing that many different stores and restaurants and businesses are oftentimes down in South Windsor and East Windsor. Places that are far and very hard to get to via transit. Like, it takes a long time to actually commute there. Before coming to Windsor, I don't think I've ever been to any other mid-sized city in Canada that has this level of disrespect for those who don't have access to a car. I get that Windsor is the automotive capital of Canada, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't strive to do better. A city should be a place that brings people from all walks of life closer together, with public spaces, local businesses, and reliable public transit for people to enjoy, among many other benefits. But despite the bad when it comes to taking transit in Windsor, taking the bus there has helped me realize what's truly great about taking transit, being able to connect with the local environment and the sense of community. Transit connects you to local places where many people would not even think about driving there, because when you're in a car, you're just driving by everything and focusing on exactly where you're driving to. I also got to have conversations with different people while taking transit in Windsor. Sometimes I got to see local residents chatting with one another on the bus, like a tight-knit community. And I got to listen to people talk about their lives and their experiences. On my third year here in Windsor, I eventually got myself involved with the transit advocacy group here in Windsor, known as ATWE Transit Windsor Essex. And I really wish I committed to it sooner. Like, in earlier years, like, I knew there was some sort of transit advocacy group around here in Windsor, but I just didn't fully commit to actually reaching out to them until someone in my film program actually told me about it and recommended me to talk to them. But yeah, ATWE Transit is run by a group of incredible people, including Nate Hope, who was a great guy. He really helped me to get set up with being involved with the advocacy group. The first time I got to meet the members of ATWE was at the City of Windsor's Earth Day event at Malden Park back in April 2024. So basically this year, I was involved with ATWE Transit for a bunch of direct action campaigns. With the first being a tent vendor set up at the Open Streets Windsor event, where we had a tent set up and we talked to event goers that went by about transit, what people want to see improve. Our goal here at ATWE Transit is to do a lot of community outreach and to keep on spreading the message to Windsorites that transit is at a really bad spot and it really needs to improve as a public service. I also remember going to Windsor City Hall once, where I actually stepped forward to delegate to City Council about my experiences on transit. That was pretty stressful because I signed up to delegate pretty last minute, and so that's why I didn't have a script prepared, so I basically just I winged it. I tried to talk based on my experiences as much as I could, and yeah, overall, it was a fantastic experience. But yeah, unfortunately, in recent years, Windsor was known to have made a bunch of poor decisions in terms of their city budgets and where the taxpayer dollars are going into. Like, for example, despite the obvious ridership increase due to the arrival of new international students, and the message being clear that buses here in Windsor are unreliable, they are oftentimes packed to the point where they have to drive past people waiting at stops, among other problems. And yet the mayor of Windsor refuses to make the correct decisions to help fund Transit Windsor where it really matters. Yeah, not only did I delegate in front of City Council, I was also involved in a community rally at City Hall where we were all gathered together with around 50 people, and we were rallying against the city's plans to completely cut the Detroit-Windsor tunnel bus service. Yeah, that was quite an experience. I even scribbled together a little sign on the back of a notebook.
Essex County, and it's been really, really difficult, especially this last year. And I can't tell you how many times, too, over the last year that I would go to a counselor and they would say, we haven't heard anything about anyone caring about transit. Can you believe that? Look at all of you. And I know that public transit helps build a community. And public transit is one of those public spaces that they're trying to take away from us. They're always trying to cut us. We're the first people that they come to make a cut. But that's why everyone's here today. We're here to say no. Yeah.
Yeah. No more cuts.
Bus riders are there for each other. We got each other's back.
Tunnel bus! Tunnel bus!
Yeah, look at that. It's picking people up too.
Woo!
No one takes it.
There could be people on the other side waiting too.
But unfortunately, despite all our efforts, they did it anyway. And Mayor Drew Dilkins, at one point even, had the power to veto against the city council members who were actually voting to help keep the tunnel bus service alive. Like, at one point, they actually tried to compromise by keeping the tunnel bus service. The trade-off is that they would significantly raise the price of tickets. But even that wasn't enough for Drew Dilkins. Like, it's really unfortunate because a lot of people don't realize how important the tunnel bus is as a service, because it's the only international cross-border bus service, transit bus service remaining in North America. And it's not only people of lower classes that use the tunnel bus to commute. In fact, I have heard that there are suburbanites from the outskirts of Windsor who actually drive downtown to park their cars and actually take the tunnel bus over the border to Detroit, so they can, attend sports games, special events, and etc. So you can get a sense of just how diverse, like, the ridership demographic of this route really is. But still, Drew Dilkins wanted to cut the tunnel bus service in order to save $1 million, apparently, in sick day payment for drivers. Like, that was one of the reasons for killing the tunnel bus service. Yeah, at this point, like, they've already confirmed the decision, there's nothing we can do about it, and the service is gonna go away altogether on August 31st, I'm pretty sure. So, hopefully I can get a ride on the tunnel bus before then, but still, like, there's really zero excuse for them to do this. Okay, yeah, so I've also been to a few more events with ATWE Transit, but the most recent direct action campaign was definitely when the city of Windsor opened their new legacy beacon along the riverside, where the newly restored streetcar number 351 would be displayed, because I guess they thought this would help to attract tourism here in Windsor. But, I mean, the streetcar itself is really nice, like, I'll give them that. Like, I personally never would have expected Windsor to ever do something like this. Being able to find an intact example of transit history here in Windsor and actually using the resources to help restore back to its former glory. But I think ATWE Transit and myself can agree to the fact that the concept of this streetcar museum was the big problem here. Because, wow, like, that streetcar museum took a price tag of $10.3 million. A lot of money that could have easily been spent towards actually helping to improve the city as well as the transit we already have. Like, it's absolutely ironic that we're here pooling this much money to try to create a memorial for transit, when really we can be building transits that people can actually use. to get to places around Windsor efficiently. So yeah, like we at Activate Transit, we were trying to make this message clear by setting up a sort of mock funeral during opening day. I even got to appear on CBC News, which was pretty awesome. But yeah, I absolutely enjoyed working with the people at Activate Transit Windsor Essex, and it sure feels nice to become part of a community here in Windsor where like we all have a collective passion towards transit and how to improve this public service here in Windsor. So yeah, this will just about be it for this video. Yeah, it's basically just something to help get my messages across and let you guys know that I'm back and am ready to keep on creating content for this channel. Now, I can assure you guys that I'll be able to upload one video per week. Unless, of course, if there are any future unforeseen circumstances in my life that prevent me from working on videos for the time being. Yeah, like, sorry it took so long to even make this video, because it took so much thinking and time to like figure out like how I want to properly execute this video, as well as a bunch more videos are coming soon. Yo, during this past year, I had to change my ideas for this video like multiple times. And I'll totally admit that I've been sidetracked a lot. But yeah, content creation from me should hopefully be smooth sailing from here on out. And plus, around my graduation, I've had a lot of family and friends come over. But yeah, have a great day guys, and I'll be back for the next video.